Alright, so this lesson's going to be something you're just going to have to watch. There is no homework for you tonight. In-class had homework, but you're not going to because it requires the graphing calculator. So we actually marked this out, and I gave them a new step-by-step instruction, which I can give to you when you come back. But we're going to learn how to do it on the calculator. Alright, so, and today what we're looking at is we're looking at how to do, just find that x-intercept to find my solutions. Alright, so I'm going to go through these with you, and tomorrow is going to be the same way. It's very calculator based. So I want to do a graph. I can either choose B graph, or if you come over to new and push add graph, that way it automatically will clear for you when you're done. Okay, we want it set to either 0 or this needs to be y, or it needs to be an f of x or something. We need this to be set to 0, y, or to the function. Alright? And I'm going to apologize because my phone might ring in the middle of this video. I'm expecting a phone call. So, okay, so I'm putting this equation into my calculator. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the lights so you can just see the calculator. Which will be a little weird, but it's the only way I can think to do it. So what I've done is I've gone to the graph. If this doesn't pop up, I can push the tab key. The tab key makes that go and come, and then I pushed enter to graph it, so it graphs it. And I can see that I definitely have some x-intercepts there. So how to get those? And this is in the step-by-step directions I gave the students today. We'll hit menu. Always hitting menu pulls up all of our options. And if you think, do I want to zoom in and zoom out on my graph? No. Do I want to trace? Maybe. But I really want to analyze that graph. I don't want to look at the table. I don't want to look at the geometry of it. I want to analyze it. So you can go down to 6 or hit number 6. And then you can see here where different options pop up. We have where I can find the 0, I can find the minimum, I can find the maximum, which that's what we're going to be looking at in tomorrow's video, which I might just continue and make for today's video. So I'm going to click 0 because that's what I want. You see a dotted line pops up. So I'm going to put the dotted line to the left of my my x-intercept, and I'm going to hit the middle of my keypad. And then I'm going to drag it over. You can see as I drag it gives it to me. And I'm going to click. And that time it only gave me that one. For some reason it was doing this earlier with us also. So I'm going to hit menu, do it again, and do it just for that left side. Because for some reason it was only doing one at a time. And then it went to doing both. Alright, so my two solutions are -5 and 1. I'm going to write that answer down, and I'm going to let you copy them down in just a little bit, since I don't want to go back and forth with the light. So if I look at number 2, I want my y equals back up there, so I'm going to hit tab. You see it says F2, so I'm going to go up to delete that. And then I'm going to put in -2x, which I should possibly already thinking, hey, that's going to go down because it's a negative. Anytime I have a lead that's a negative, it's going to open downwards. Push enter and it graphs it. And once I've already found one, then the intercepts once, it does it for me every time. A student in class today gave us this idea. You can see the numbers are overlapping, so their suggestion was to grab it and move it, but for some reason I have a hard time grabbing it and moving it. So what I do is I go to menu and I go to zoom, and I just zoom in, and I do that. Look, it only gave me one again. Gave me one of them. So one of them is that x is equal to -1.6. I do my menu, I analyze my graph. I'm going to get that second one, which is x equals 2.1. Now I know this is hard to do without a calculator, just kind of watching me, but maybe seeing me doing a repeat. So I'm going to hit tab, go up, delete it, And let's look at number 3, which says x squared plus 7x. And you notice it says equals negative 10. Sorry, I don't want it in negative. I don't want anything on that right side of that equation. I want either a 0 or a y or an f and x. So I need to move that negative 10 over, making it a positive 10. Graph. As you can see, my graph is off my page. So I have to go to menu. And I'm going to zoom. I'm going to zoom out until I can see. And look, it gave me both of them. Gave me both of them. So I have x equals negative 5 and x equals negative 2. All right. Hit tab. Go up and delete that equation out. I have 2x squared plus 3x minus 7. It graphs. You can see it gives me my x equals negative 2.8 because that 6 makes the 7 go up. And then let's see if it's going to let me grab. Oh, I don't know what I just did. Sorry, you can't really see that, but I'm trying to move it so that, I don't know how. I'm going to have to play with it. Like I told you last year, I'm still learning the graphing calculator. It's not something I am used to. I did not grow up with this calculator. I grew up with a different kind. So my x equals 1.3 is my other x. Okay. All right, if I look at number 5, I can see that it's graphed for me, but when I look at my x-intercepts, I can't really tell where those are. I can make an estimate, but we don't want to estimate in math. We want to be as accurate as possible. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on my calculator, that equation. So I push tab. I guess I could go up in I push tab so I can clear that out. I'm going to put in that 4x squared minus 3x minus 5. And I can see I get 2 points. I get x equals negative 0.8 and x equals 1.6. Negative 0.8 and 1.6. Now look at number 6. They graphed it for us. And before I even need to figure out graph, I want to see if I can see it on there. And I can. I can see those x-intercepts. I'm going to turn that light back on. I can see my x-intercepts. I don't have to put them in the calculator because I'll have to guess. I have x equals negative 2 and I have x equals 7. I'm going to zoom out, so if you need to copy those answers down, you can copy them down. If you need more time, just pause it, copy it, and then push play when you're done. All right, but I'm going to go ahead and go to the back. Sorry, that's math class. All right, so what is the 0 of r of x? Now remember, I can also call it x-intercept or the root, 0, or I'm missing one of them. I can't think what it is. All right, but this one's different. There's not an x squared in it. You see it's just negative 5x plus 15. That's because it's linear. The question is, am I still going to have an x-intercept when it's linear? And the answer is yeah, we still will. So I'm going to go ahead and let's go back to turn the lights off. Sorry, the calculator is just easier to see. Tab. Go up and delete that out. I put negative 5 thirds x, and you do use the x at the bottom. And I get, well, I can't see it because, well, I'm zoomed too much. There we go. So you can make nice linear graphs. I'm going to go to menu. I'm going to go to analyze the zeros. So I'm going to look to the left Go to the right of that dot, and I get 9, which matches answer choice C. All right, number 8. Which statement about the quadratic equation below is true? So I'm going to go ahead and put it in my calculator. Let me zoom in for you. Makes it a little bit easier, I think. So I'm going to push tab, go up and delete that out. So I'm going to do negative 4.5 x squared plus 72. It's already set to 0, which is nice. So I'm going to push equals. There's my graph. I can see that it crosses twice. So no, A is wrong because it says it only has one solution. B says no solutions. And D says infinite number. I can see that there's 2. I can see negative 4, and it didn't mark the 4 for me, but I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, which matches C. All right. And then I'm going to turn the light back on for number 9. Sorry to keep going back and forth. I'm sure hopefully it's not like messing with your eyes. So they graphed it for us, and what are the roots? So I can see that there's 1 here and 1 here. Now I can't see what they are exactly, so I could go and graph them and search, but I'm going to see if I can use some reasoning. Is it 3? No, one of my dots was not 3. What about 2 and 9, which would be all the way off the page? No. 11 twelfths is going to be between 0 and 1, so maybe that first point could be it. But where's the second one? So let's look at this one. 1/3, that makes sense, between 0 and 1. 3/2, which is just 1 1/2, between 1 and 2. D is correct. All right. I know that's a lot of, really hard to do without a calculator, and so I'm sorry. All right, we're going to go ahead and I'm just going to combine today and tomorrow's lesson since you're not going to do the homework. I'm not having you do the homework. These directions are pretty close to what we're really doing, so they're just going to mark out a few things. We're going to mark out that we're not going to press y equals. We're going to press graph. And instead of second trace, we're going to put, sorry, I got to find my other notes. We're going to hit menu 6, analyze. And then instead of a 3, we're going to mark that one out. We're going to put a 2. And instead of the 4, we're going to mark that out and put a 3. But everything else is pretty much the same on the directions. All right. So let's look at some of these. Now, I haven't done this with the class yet, so I hadn't even, usually I do it before I even get y'all. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the light off again. Again, I will, some of this we can find out, like this is a positive, so I know it's going to have to be, it's going to be going this direction. So I know I'm going to have a min. All right. So let's look. I'm going to go to my, turn off the light, go to my calculator and zoom in for you. Okay, so I'm going to tab to clear this one out. It is in its f of x form, which is nice. So I'm going to do x squared plus 4x minus 5. Push enter, so it gives me my graph. All right, so I can see that it gave me my x-intercepts, which it didn't ask for, of course. But we want to know what that vertex is, okay? So I'm going to go to Menu, Analyze, and it is a minimum, okay? That's why I did that first. We're going to hit that. Maybe. Again, I'm going to go to the left, go to the right of that minimum, and it gave me my point. My minimum was -2, 9. So that's my vertex. Sorry, I moved my calculator so I can write that answer down. Let's skip the f of 2 for right this second. So I'm going to show you 2 ways to do it. But let's look at the domain and range. So if I look at the domain of that graph, it can be any x value. So it's going to be all real numbers. And my range, I'm not going to have any y's. All my y's are going to be greater than that negative 9, greater than or equal to that negative 9. Okay. Axis of symmetry. Once I have found that vertex, I know that my axis of symmetry is going to go through that vertex. So my axis of symmetry is going to be x equals negative 2. Okay. All right, so let's go and, sorry, it's going to move real quick because I froze it so we can look at it. All right, so now I want to find that y-intercept. So I'm going to menu, analyze, nope, trace. I'm sorry, I hadn't done this one yet. I hadn't done the y-intercept yet. Oh, sorry. Pause the video real quick and. Okay, sorry about that. Wait, I'm on that phone call. Alright, so I did figure out, while I was on the phone, how to do the y-intercept. So there was one way I knew for sure, but I wanted to see if we could trace it, and we're going to see if it works every time. So we're going to go to menu, and then we're going to go down to trace, and when I do graph trace, it gives me my y-intercept, which is negative 5. Now to get that f of 2, what I'm going to do is, and this is also how you can get the y-intercept, is I'm going to go to menu, and I'm going to go to the table, and I'm going to get it split screen. So from here, I could go up and find my x is 0 and find that negative 5 is my y value. And then when f of 2, I can see that it's 7. Okay? I know this is so hard imagining doing without the calculator, but I still wanted you to see it. So I want to go back to my graph, so I'm going to take my mouse on that side, I'm going to click on the graph because I want it highlighted. You can't see it on the screen, but it's kind of got a little highlight around it. And I'm going to hit tab so I can get the new equation. I'm going to keep my table up there though because I want to, we're going to be using the tables for the other ones. So let's go to number 2, which is negative 2x squared plus x plus 7. Alright, I know that it's opening downward, so I know that I'm going to have a max. So I can circle max on number 2. I can see it already gave me all my information because I'd already asked for it all. My vertex is 0, 7. My axis of symmetry is going to be that y-axis, so it's going to be where x equals 0. I'm going to skip, my y-intercept is easy to see. I can see that I have it on the table right here, which is 7. I can also go over here on the table. I have to click on the table though. Go to my negative 5 to see negative 48. The domain, the calculator won't give it to me. I'm going to have to use a little bit of my brain there. It's all real numbers. And my range, my y, is going to have to be less than or equal to that 7. I'll go back over to my graph. I'm going to click on it. It highlights it. I know you can't see that. And I'm going to hit tab so I can get that y equals, or that f of x back. I'm going to delete it. And I'm going to look at number 3. So it's x squared. So x squared plus 7x plus 10 equals. Alright, I see that I'm going to have a min, so I'm going to circle min. I like that it's giving me my vertex already, which I've got so many numbers around there. I might click on it and see if it'll tell me what it is. Oh, it did let me know this. I use my little hand, I get it highlighted, and then apparently I can then click again. I don't know how I did it. Oh, okay. I moved it out of the way so I can see that that vertex is -3.5, -2.25. Okay, and if I needed to get that vertex again, remember I would go to menu. I'd go to my menu, I'd go to analyze the graphs, and then I'd choose minimum. My axis of symmetry is going to be right here where that x is, so it's going to be x equals, -3.5. I'm going to go over to my table to get my y-intercept, even though it does have it up there for me, but it's going to be 10. But I'm going to scroll on down to find my g of x is 10, or g of 10, which is 180. My domain is going to be all real numbers. My range is going to be that I need things that are greater than or equal to that y value, so that -2.25. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the lights on and zoom out so you can make sure you have this copy down. Sorry, I should stop apologizing, but I don't know how else to do this. So make sure you got that information down. Alright, if you need more time, just freeze this video and then push play when you're ready. Alright, so let's look at number 4. Which statement about g of x minus 3 squared is false? So I'm going to go to my calculator, and I'm going to put that in, and then I'll show you what it looks like. There's got to be a quick way to clear this out, but I have not figured that out, how to clear it out quicker out of that. So I'm going to do parentheses x minus 3 close parentheses squared, and we'll graph it. Okay, so if I look, there's my graph. Alright, so it says it has one root. Well, that is true at 3. Well, that's pretty accurate. It has a minimum point. Well, that's true. So A and B are both true. It has no real solutions. Well, it does have one solution and only one solution. So that's false. But let me go ahead and check D. It has a range of all real numbers that are greater than or equal to 0. And that is true. So C was my false statement, because it does have solutions. Alright, number 5. Which statement about the function? So I'm going to come to my graph. I'm going to tab. I'm going to take out that equation. Alright, so we'll put in 2x squared plus 7x minus 4. See what happens. Alright, has a y-intercept of 5. So I'm looking for which one is true. A y-intercept of 5. Nope, it doesn't cross at the 5. It crosses at 0.5. So that's not true. The x-intercepts, so we have our x-intercept, is 1/2 and -4. Well, that looks pretty true. The vertex is -2, -9. No, it's -1, well, -1.75 and -10.125. So close, but nope. And it has a maximum, and no, it has a minimum because it's opening upward. So B is the only true. Alright, when you come back to school, if you want to play around with this, then I encourage you to just let me know and we can play around with it a little bit. I don't know when that will be. You have 18 school days until your Algebra EOC. It is on May 4th, just to kind of give you a heads up. You are required to take it, so be sure you plan on that. Alright. right, if you have any questions, this is 2 lessons. Be sure that you comment on Teams to let me know for attendance purposes. No homework for today or tomorrow for you. All right, have a good day.